ToonGrin.com.
You'd think with a franchise as popular as Scooby-Doo, we would have hit a Frankenstein movie a lot sooner. But now that it's here, was it worth the wait? I really tried my best to avoid any spoilering tidbits on Frankencreepy, but I have obviously seen the box art for months, and before release I watched the trailer as I was getting footage for this spotlight. So my primary thoughts were, oh god, this is gonna be either awesomely stupid or horribly stupid. But was it either of those? Well, let's find out. The basic story of Frankencreepy starts with our gang after shooting a live stream. No, seriously, a live stream. And Velma is contacted by her family lawyer, and she is told that she has inherited the Dinkelstein Manor in Transylvania, Pennsylvania. Do you see the Frankenstein reference there? At first, due to her disdain for her past family member's monster obsession, as well as the Dinkelstein curse that surrounds her family, she tries to refuse. But when the mystery machine is bombed, the gang have little other option than to head to Transylvania and find out who is trying to actually murder them. This movie was a big shock for me as a Scooby-Doo fan. Frankencreepy, more than any other movie in the past few years, has taken every plot point of device that was done okay to just horribly, and mixed it together to create a story that's both fun, gripping, funny, self-aware, and mysterious from a totally different angle. Firstly, taken from Camp Scare, Frankencreepy places our gang in even more dangerous peril. In the first 15 minutes, the van is bombed and they're placed on a speeding train that will be hurtling towards their doom. This raising stakes also connects to the Dinkelstein curse, which laid out details that each gang member will lose the one thing they hold dear. And as each member of the gang is destroyed emotionally by this one thing being taken away, I'm sitting there going, what? But not angrily, but inquisitively, intrigued to view more of the movie to figure out how this curse ties together with the murder attempts and the monster. Which brings up another point that the monster, the Frankencreep as they call it, isn't even that important of a character. The true monster in the movie, I consider, is Velma. Yeah, Velma as the bad guy again. But unlike in Where's My Mummy and Curse of the Lake Monster, where it was completely contrived, in this movie it's only partially contrived. The reason why Frankencreepy's method of vilifying Velma works here is, I think, because character-wise, Velma's still Velma. She's still got that snarky, smart girl attitude, just with an evil edge. And it's mean-spirited hilarity. Frankencreepy showcases a wide variety of humor, from Shaggy's typical punny jokes to some well-placed and well-timed knee slappers. There are some jokes that come off as too awkward, though. I can remember specifically the scene where the gang are being shown in their room was a little too blunt with its awkwardness, making the jokes in that scene kind of fall flat, but overall the jokes do work, even the stupid ones. And I think that's because the movie's editing is just so different because it's so super fast. Over a dozen times we get edits like ba 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 ba, usually mixed with 1 second of a stupid joke. And at first I was thinking that this would get so old so fast. But I found due to the quick nature of the edits, the humor stayed solid throughout, and led to some hilarious jokes, especially with Fred in particular. And as I mentioned the edits, it gets me thinking that stylistic-wise, Frankencreepy is very distinct from most of the other movies. From an animation perspective, it uses a very scratchy and dark array of colors for the backgrounds, and very bright flashes and shadowing to offset the action and characters on screen, making them pop. Except for this one chase scene, where it more makes the characters blend into the background, which I don't think was the intention. And from a writing perspective, like I said before, the story mixes together elements and tones from the previous movies, which gives us the self-aware tone of Blue Falcon, the action of Camp Scared, the silliness of WrestleMania Mystery, and the awful CG doors from Stage Fright. Okay, either all CG or all drawn. Yes, stink at trying to mix both. But with all these elements mixing together, plus a few nods to the original 1969 series, I'm sorry, but I do have a critique on the movie. A negative one. It's a fan movie. The humor mainly derives from the status quo of Scooby-Doo being flipped on its head. The references and the resolution of mystery would be more satisfying to a viewer with the previous content of the original show in mind. And the jabs at the pretentious internet critics at the end, like myself, is directed at critics like myself, and not any newcomers. I don't feel the new generation, or just the mild Scooby-Doo fans, will get the same appeal as I, as a hardcore fanboy, God, I hate having to say that disclaimer, would enjoy it. But even then, I think the overall goofy and wacky tone of the writing, as well as the legitimate danger that is shown, will keep viewers invested in this flick. So, Frankencreepy gets the SDDC stamp of awesome in my books. And if you're at all interested, then pick up Frankencreepy. Scooby!